everyone, and welcome to I'm Too Old for This, where we ask inspiring, uncomfortable, and sometimes rarely asked questions of people who've seen it all. Today I have with me Bruce Langoulant. He has established the Confederation of Meningitis organisations around the world, so I'm really delighted to welcome Bruce here with us today. Hi, Bruce.
Hello, Cath. My
For
friend.
those of you that don't know, I have many names, and Bruce knows me as Kate and Cath.
Yep.
So we've known each other probably close to 40 years now, I think, 35 years.
Yes.
I'm going,
Definitely.
is there, so I'm going to start with a question I'm asking of a lot of people. Are you able to kind of give us a potted timeline and the things that really stand out now? You're 72, nearly 73. Sorry for mentioning that publicly. It's good to get there, isn't it?
It is good to get there.
The alternative's not great.
No, if you get there quickly is the other thing as a lot of people have experienced. But
So tell us a bit about you, the beginnings, and then the things that have defined you that you think as you got to nearly 73.
well, I'm a Perth boy, born and raised in Western Australia, born in just around the corner at King Eddie's.
Aha.
Mum was a nurse, Dad was an accountant. Lived a pretty typical West Australian tough upbringing life. Dad and Mum didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which was a good grounding because, family life in the backyard and neighbours and friends and school and all that stuff was really important. Growing up wasn't a challenge. We looked after kids, and you could say, and we were contributors. Dad was a contributor. This sort of thing. Where does my advocacy and dedication to community come from?
Yeah.
And probably no surprise that Dad, who was PNC president and big into Rotary and a Clive Harris fellow, I think it is, in Rotary, was always the guy standing up, giving the speeches, and very humble guy, not a boastful bloke, and great role model, if you like, for keeping your head on your shoulders and staying disciplined.
So you've got a really strong thread of that community involvement, because I know your brother as well does.
Yeah.
And so it's really, it came from probably your grandfather initially, did it?
I think there was an element of Granddad holding court when he'd come over for a Sunday night's dinner and sit at the end of the table.
Talk about politics and stuff.
and tell us how to eat and where to put our hands and pass this the proper way and all that sort of stuff. But I think that's pretty true. And he is on our landscape. It's not like it was devoid of leaders.
Yeah.
It's Granddad and then Dad and even my dad's brother was Crown Solicitor of the state.
So how long have you been married now?
40 years, yeah.
And I'm going to guess that one of the defining moments is having 3 daughters. Or several defining moments.
Yeah, as you touched on, we were, we have Jess and Ash and Courtney, and they're all adult women now, of course. But that's where we first met you, through the primary school. Or it might have even been through kindy, I can't remember. But
I can't remember either.
It goes way back. But Kensington was the hub of everything for quite a number of years.
Talking about ageing, I reckon it's hard to make friends as you get older.
Yeah.
The friends, frankly, that you have at that period of time are our most stable group of friends. Yeah. And I don't even know, have you made friends since you retired, new kind of bond of friends?
Yeah, it's through dads.
Yeah.
I've actively worked on.
Yeah, because you have to put a lot of effort in, don't you?
I've made friends because as you get older, it is a bit harder to make friends.
So you've had a common cause.
Yeah, through work and through my role as chair of the Disability Services Commission I was on the board for 21 years, which is unusual.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I was chair for 15 consecutive years, which is extremely unusual. And that's because I was just reappointed by different governments and ministers.
Yeah, because you were non-political?
I think apolitical. I was a carer, Dad. So, non-threatening. And that's
so that probably helped the continuity, did it?
Yeah, I think so. Didn't mean we agreed on everything, but at the same time, there's a mutual respect. And
So I can see a common cause or common interest really makes a difference, but your kind of common cause started really with Ashley, didn't it? So do you want to tell us about Ashley? She's same age as my son.
Yeah, so I'm big into advocacy these days, and I wasn't really until Ash, a couple of years after Ash became ill through meningitis.
Yeah.
She got meningitis as a baby, Christmas and Boxing Day in 89. And we just thought we had a sick child, she'll be fine tomorrow sort of thing. As most of us usually might have a temperature and then get over it. But with meningitis, as we now know, there's no turning back unless you intervene or unless you're protected against it.
Or you get a vaccine.
That's right.
And take this opportunity to encourage people to get
vaccinated. That's right. And Ash was a beautiful, healthy child on Christmas Day, started to feel ill in the evening of Boxing Day, or we noticed she wasn't settling, had a bit of a temperature. And then 2 days later, she's in ICU and we're fighting to save her. And it was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Anyway, it did happen, and there were no vaccines around in those days. So we were just typical of an unvaccinated person.
Yeah.
You're vulnerable. And she was unlucky that somebody passed on this bacterial infection to her, or the bug. And with young babies, their defences are still maturing.
Yeah. 6 months, very low.
And they can't tell you how they're feeling, so it really gets down to the parents' observations, right? So Ash has been left with significant intellectual disability. She's never walked, never talked. She's profoundly deaf.
She's got the most amazing eyesight.
She compensates through her vision.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
But she's like a 36-year-old toddler.
Yeah.
And totally dependent, 24/7, totally defenceless. Unique person.
Yeah.
She's a unique person, right? Because most people have some ability, if you like. No, there are people who don't have because birth defects or people like Ash.
Yeah.
But they're not that many. You don't meet that many who have no or very few capacities,
Yeah.
And when you do, you appreciate what you have. And even to this day, the people who support her, particularly older mums who support her, it refocuses them on the important things.
Yeah.
And they sort of realise how lucky they are with their kids and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it threw me into this space of saying, what just happened? Anyway, Fiona Stanley reached out to us because her secretary at the time had worked for us in the agency.
Oh, wow.
And she got wind of the fact that Ash we'd had meningitis in our family. And she was but only 1 year into her tenure at the Research Institute, the West Australian Research Institute for Child Health, as it was called then. And it was now Telethon Kids and all of that. And she said, I'd like to get a meningitis-focused group together, money with parents, and I'll get some researchers and health professionals and health department, and let's have a discussion around what we might be able to make. Because in those days, meningitis was everywhere. It was all the bugs causing meningitis.
Yeah. We forgot really,
meningococcal.
Amoebic, wasn't it?
Pardon?
Amoebic meningitis as well.
Amoebic was always there, but it wasn't even on the map compared to the bacterial forms.
Yeah.
And when you look back, and I have done numerous times, there are these little articles in the paper, like little articles about 5 centimetres saying baby dies of virus or baby dies of this, baby dies of that. And we started collecting them. They're actually meningitis cases. They were bacterial cases, right? Vaccine preventable, but there weren't any vaccines. Except the Hib vaccine was on the horizon about a year out. So she said, we need to get prepared. There are meningitis groups in the UK. We need one here, and we can do some advocacy around meningitis. We've got a vaccine coming. The Hib vaccine would stop, hopefully, 40% of the cases. 40% is a high number.
Wow.
And so, we created the Wipe It Out campaign, Wipe Out Hib, and lobbied the state government with Fiona and health department and others, but it's the parent stories and it's the damage, it's the human interest that drives the reason to get this thing solved, right?
Yeah, it does, because people think if not for the vaccine. Yeah.
Well, then it's just business. The rest of it can be just vaccine companies trying to sell the government some product, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to see the issue, and that's where getting the parents together was the key thing. Anyway, out of that, the state introduced it in 93, and every child in Western Australia, and now Australia, because it went national, since 93 has had the Hib vaccine free.
And so the numbers must have dropped dramatically.
You rarely find a Hib case these days.
Yeah.
So the power of vaccines, right?
Yeah.
These stories need to be told.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. So, but I mean, that wasn't the bug that Ash had. So the pneumococcal bug, which she had, was still running rampant, as was meningococcal.
Yeah.
And I met numerous parents who'd lost their kids. I mean, I wasn't there as a counsellor, but there was no one else.
Yeah.
So I used to go and speak to families 2 days after that, or 10 days after they'd lost an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And it just cemented in my mind the importance of there being somewhere to go, someone with some experience to talk to, even though I wasn't a doctor.
Yep.
I could relate to it. And I come from a consulting background, so used to financial advising or advertising and marketing advising, problem solving, listening to clients, working with them, problem solving. So I just felt I was in the same space, except that the subject matter changed.
Yeah. And you had a personal interest.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I could almost tell you what they're going to say next.
Yeah.
You get into the flow of conversations and you know where it's going, so you can comfort them by showing that you know. Just by your behaviours and questions and stuff like that. So anyway, I was doing all this and running 2 businesses at the same time, and having a disabled daughter at the same time.
And also, if I remember rightly, not knowing quite where that would go, because you're still trying to work out what her capabilities are. And this must be the same for many parents of whether it's children or adults. We have it with acquired brain injury.
Yeah.
It's not linear, is it?
No.
At that moment in time, you're not sure where it's going to go, how much ability they'll have.
No, I speak about this. We got a talk coming up on Thursday, and I do touch on this. It's a bit like you're given a piece of, there's a puzzle ahead, because you're given a piece of the puzzle at a time, but there's no picture.
No.
And you're not sure quite how this puzzle fits together. In the fullness of time,
Yeah.
But and I often say it's like laying brick paving without a pattern. You just put the bricks where you need to, then you turn around, you're looking and say, who would ever lay a path like that? The thing is, you don't know where the path has to go, right?
Because I wanted to get your views on where you think the NDIS is going in terms of supports, because now we're an SDA provider now. We've just jumped into this space, particularly for Huntington's. It's a hard space to be in. And I just wondered, how are you navigating it?
Well, it's a darn good question. and I think if you're asking that question, and so am I, and we've been around a while, then where are Joe Blow, or where are the others, the first timers? And those, it isn't an easy space. I don't think the knowledge is deep enough yet for good advice.
Do you mean from the sector itself?
Yeah. There'd be pockets of it, but you hear some messages coming back at you saying there are so many empty SDA houses or units because they've been designed for the builder, not necessarily the occupant.
Wow. No, well, I guess I'm on the receiving end there, so I hadn't heard that. So they're building them in spite of what's needed. Is that right?
So people are saying, well, but I don't want that style of accommodation.
Right.
So that's one element of the industry or the opportunity getting ahead of the clients and who they're building it for.
So I made an assumption here. I thought that you worked with somebody who had a disability or the family to build what they needed, not that you ran ahead and built them all and then said,
well, they're investors. They're investors.
Oh, yeah, of course,
who will build an SDA-compliant structure thinking they'll fill it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one segment of the market.
One part, yeah.
But the other part then is whether or not you can get an SDA for yourself to occupy, because a lot of the NDIS funding is for 2 people or 3 people.
Right, yeah.
And, so...
Can you do it alone?
Yeah, can you do it alone? And so I think that's another interesting space, because they'll give you a plan and it says for two occupants.
Right.
So the allowance they'll give you is around that. Yeah. But you go, well, there's no way I'm putting 2 occupants in with Ash.
Yeah.
She's got to be single occupancy. So then there's another layer of how do we qualify for that to then go and talk to an SDA provider. So,
yeah. I mean, we're on one end of it, and we have 3 occupants in each of ours, and we've built a village effectively, like a group of villas.
Yeah.
But with a particular cohort.
Yeah, that can work.
Yeah,
can work.
And they love it. But you need a lot of flexibility in this.
Well, you do.
So is that why you started DADS? So you might talk about DDADS.
DDADS. Yeah, dads of kids with disability. No, I started DDADS because when I was chair of the commission, I made it, and the commission had a position at the time where we would go and visit organisations, and I used to run chairs forums. Yep. And then I turn them into board forums, because why just have the chair? You should have the chair and another board member, so that instead of talking to 40, let's talk to 80. And then I'd go and see them in their premises, and then I'd realise they're not just chairs of the organisation, they're actually a dad who's got a son or daughter with an intellectual disability that has attracted them to be on this board.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's quite a few of these people out there. Surely there's got to be an opportunity when you're talking to business. These guys are businessmen on this side, and they're sitting on that board.
Just like you were.
Just like I was.
Yeah.
So what about if we got our business heads together and we're trying to influence employment and access and raise the profile of things within the corporate sector in Perth, and you're already working in it? Who can tell the story better than a dad who's also the chair of an organisation, so he's well-informed dad?
Yeah.
That I thought, well, let's try and build DDADS.
So do you find yourself mentoring a lot now? Because not to mention your age, but you probably don't want to be the advocate. I mean, it'll be part of your soul forever, but you probably don't want to be running an organisation and doing that. But is this a way for you to mentor the next group? I'm one of the practices. So I ran a financial planning practice in Perth, and my business partner in Sydney, and the Sydney one's still going because he was 13 years younger than me. But we always used to talk to business clients about succession planning. Yeah. It's not a new term, but not a lot of people do it properly, right? So we succession planned the business that my partner and I started in Perth in 87 with nothing, and it's still running today in West Perth, and I'm a client of the business. And I said, why can't that happen for the Meningitis Centre Australia? Why does a good idea have to die with me? So, I'm in this phase of saying, get other people around the game and the same in disability. And why do you go, the luckier you get, because not everybody wants to be in it, even though it makes sense. You got to find those individual characters, male or female, who have the spark to say, I can see this. And is it spark around business, or do they also have to, is it helpful if they have experience?
It's a combination of spark around business. The key thing is their story, because that keeps them around. But the other one is camaraderie. Yeah,
because you've created a kind of a group of people that can lean on each other too, haven't you? Because it's bloody hard work. I have seen you and Jen through all of this, watched, and
it's constant.
You have a very tight family, but it is.
It's like a separate. I'd say it's running Ash is like running a separate small business.
Yeah,
and that's happening. And the dining room table, the kitchen table, boardroom is still alive and well out there. Yeah, because most of the decisions are being made at home with little advice, because the relationship with the NDIS isn't the same as it used to be with an LAC locally. Yeah, and whilst they're trying to make it happen, it'll be a while before it does happen. So right now. Yeah. It's an issue, right? And
it's complicated. You've got 24-hour carers, you've got holidays, you've got stuff, all of that, So that leads me to
And can I just say too?
You can. So if
one other thing is that the analogy with a small business is that the majority of small businesses, more than 50%, fail in business.
True. Yeah.
So if my analogy is correct, you ask the peak bodies like DDWA, what is their biggest concern? Who do they hear from most? It's families that are breaking up.
Yep.
Suicides. Things you don't want to know about, but are indicators like the whistle going off.
Yeah.
The canary in the cage.
They are, because they're isolated
Yeah.
and don't know how to make these decisions.
And not everyone's as skilled as you and me.
No, yeah? I mean, I can't navigate the system and I've been around it for donkey's years.
Yeah.
And if you can't, God help us. And what about the burden for the girls? How are they feeling about trying to get this transition? Because I imagine for other people as well, you've got parents making a decision and you've got family members and they've all got advice on what you should and shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I don't know how much advice you get. I wouldn't be game, but.
Oh, listen, I think we've always led, if you like.
Yeah, you have.
But the girls are finding their voice, which is great. And they're educated young women.
Yeah.
Their mum, Jess is a mum. And problem solvers. So I think all of that is, contributing to a good discussion.
Yeah.
We're not trying to, we don't have all the answers at the moment, but coming back to Perth is an important strategic step for them. If we were stuck in the bush with Ash, that would be a real distance.
Be tough.
And then planning where we might live, how we re-establish ourselves. We want to live close to Ash.
Of course, yeah.
So we got to find a spot where we build something for her, live close to her, where that is, between the two girls, just for access.
So you're in a unique position because you probably, despite it is a costly and difficult process, not everyone would even be able to make those choices, would they? Right. And I'm sure, going back to your advocacy space, do you see people of your age really wrestling with this? Because you'd have lots of friends now, I imagine, that have got similar issues.
Yep.
I can think of a few, actually.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, disability is different from person to person.
Yeah.
Family circumstances are different from person to person. You can't impose your solutions on somebody else. And often people talk outside their lane in our space. They just generalise too much.
Yeah.
It's person-centred. It needs to be a plan based around individual. And each of the girls sitting around the table when Jen gets together with her girlfriends has a different story.
Yeah, because she's got a group of friends who are all mums.
They've been having lunch for 30-something years. They met through disability and they've stayed together. And each has got a story.
Yeah, and different way to. And, some families manage and thrive through this, some don't. It's hard.
But the thing that binds them, I think, is the comfort, is the they get it. They all get it.
Yeah. You've got a shortcut to conversation.
Yeah, and it's, no one's judgmental.
Yeah. I'm going to finish on something. If you've done such a huge amount and you've left a legacy, not only the Meningitis Centre and Como and all the things that we talked and all the awards, what do you want to be known for when I'm at your eulogy?
We got to write my eulogy together.
I won't write it for you, but I'll listen to it. I'll put a few jokes in.
Listen, I'm thinking that what I've done might be enough. In a sense, people might go, well, it's Bruce from Bentley, Bruce from St. James. Anybody can do it if you're focused and you've got a desire to do it. I always say, tomorrow's a new opportunity. Don't think that everything that's happened is all of it. And have that creative open mind and try and share your thinking with people and just see if people bite and go, oh, that's not a bad idea.
So you'd like to be known for that?
Yeah. It's sort of like, probably 5 or 6 or 7 things I've started from scratch.
Yeah.
That are still going.
Yeah. What's your next big thing you're going to start from scratch? Have you got an idea?
I want Disability Assembly to be
great.
strong. We've got just under 700 followers on LinkedIn at the moment.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of potential. I think the disjointed and siloed position we find our disability sector in because of the NDIS and taking away the local ownership and control and influence has led to a disparate mob of people doing stuff.
Yeah. It's not a coordinated.
It's not coordinated, cohesive.
It is, and that's right. There's multiple different advocacy groups.
It's just a mess. Whereas it used to be a little underfunded. I agree with that, but it was cohesive. There was a central point. If you were having issues in your organisation, you could go to the back to the middle. Go.
Yeah,
you could resolve the issues, keep the customers happy, and move on and build. Right now, it's just every man for himself, which is ridiculous.
It is, and
it's an ATM. The ATM, the NDIS is just an ATM.
Yeah, yes.
That's it. Full stop. Listen, I think a couple of things. There's a richness around disability.
Yeah,
there's people. We don't want to lose disability as a thing, as a place, as a focus. They don't want to cover up the word disability. Don't be fearful or try and disguise disability, because it's character building. It's real. There's all sorts of things with disability in front of them which are there for a reason and designed by people with disability with bipartisanship in this state years ago, which is for some reason being challenged just with the fullness of time for no good reason by others for others making it easier to deal with, I think.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose identity. We lost identity when we moved from the DSC to the Department of Communities and became an office, not a department. That's a massive loss of identity, right?
Yeah.
They've realised that now. So now they're building back. And so, well, we just wasted all those years, 8 years, when it didn't need to happen. This is Bruce being not political, but I was there and I'm thinking this is ridiculous because we'd built it based on need and we're honing it and fine-tuning and polishing it.
You're allowed to be political.
In a bipartisan way. They both got it wrong. And so I think I want Ash to be a part of a community.
Yep.
And that it not being people feeling sorry for her or isolated, just being a normal part of community, and disability is part of living life. You would know that. People tonight, all of a sudden fall into the space. And so I think that needs to be respected. And I think it needs to be a more joined up, cohesive approach by Western Australians for Western Australians. They are our NDIS dollars going east and coming back in shards of uncoordinated promises, and there's no one here to catch them.
Yeah.
And if there's no central point, there's no place to go to. Now, it might be being rebuilt, but that's going to take 10 years.
Yeah, it will take time for sure.
For it to be proven.
Yeah.
You might have it up in 5, but it'll be incrementally.
Yeah.
And then you've got to prove that it works.
Yeah.
And you've got to recruit to it. And then you've got to have the depth of knowledge to advise people from it if you're going to do that. And we just don't know what it looks like. But I do think we need to start on it, and WA needs to re-own disability support for its people.
That's a good way to finish. But I'm just going to finish by saying thank you. Thanks for sharing the last 35 years with me.
Pleasure.
And all the adventures we've had along the way.
Yeah, I know.
In our lives.
Look where you are now too. Congratulations to you too. No, it's good.
And thanks for coming to have a chat.
Pleasure. Thanks, Cath Kate.
Thank you. We'll see you next time on I'm Too Old for This. I'm Too Old for This is brought to you by Brightwater. Brightwater creates communities where people thrive, connect and belong.